the so going into the Hebrew word Tau, as you can see, it's right here. The the first word expressing the internal consciousness of Elohim in the Bible, or Lao-I'm, which would be the all in all, the God that encompasses all. So Tau, here's the Hebrew word good, and the letters D-O-V or T-O-V, depending on how you would pronounce these particular letters in ancient times. I would, of course, the V is, this letter here is also linked to a U or W sound. So Tio, Tau, Dao, etc. would be derived from these letters. This letter is used as a part of the name for David, for example, David, etc. So Dawade would be to contain goodness, to contain Tao. So the name David itself, I believe, derives also from these concepts of Tao and Dawade. So Tao is the closest the closest link to the internal being of Elohim we can get, because it's in, as you see, it's in Genesis 1. So you go to Genesis 1. At the beginning point, Elohim began to create the heavens and the earth. There was formless and empty void. Again, these are this is describing what's being created, not the internal consciousness of Elohim. So this is just the visible manifestations. God said, "Let there be light." So the being through the Word is creating the manifestation of light, of the highest dimensional reality, the multiverse, universe. And God saw that the light was good. That's the theme right there. God saw that the light, Elohim saw that the light was Tau. So Tau, or Tov, Tau this is going to be the theme throughout the whole Bible. Actually, from that point on, it mentions Tau 6 times during the Genesis account at the completion of the cycles of creation. So the Word is manifesting something from within Elohim, and then the manifestation then becomes complete and merges and becomes one seamlessly throughout the universe in Tau. So Tau would be that internal point of being, and then the flow throughout the universe, and then its return, its completion, its absorption back into the beginning, where Elohim at the end says it's exceedingly Tau, and then he rests. So the presence of God is fully indwelling in throughout the entire creation as one in Tau on day 7, and that would be a complete universe, completed in Tau with man and woman in Eden, the complete oneness of all things. And then the serpent comes along and teaches a concept which is separation, division, the concept of good and evil, concept of Tau and Ra, Tau and error, in Genesis chapter 3. As you get to Genesis 3, so here is where he blesses the creation. Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame, so they had no division in their mind. They're fully, man and woman is fully one in Eden, which is fully one, which is a picture of the universe. In Eden is fully one with the earth and the ecosystem, and the earth is fully one with the universe. So you have a complete picture of a complete oneness, a complete flow of Tao, of a seamless oneness at this point. And then Genesis chapter 3 is when the serpent comes along and introduces fractured knowledge, the idea of good and evil, the idea of separations and distinctions, instead of all things just being one, just being as they are, all one and perfect in Elohim, in the God, the creator of heaven and earth. That would be the perfect, complete picture of Tao. So now Tao is fractured. You have good and evil. Tao and error or Ra. And then Tao Te Ching chapter 2 actually describes this very concept of fracturing the mind. When people see some things as beautiful or as beneficial, other things become ugly. So instantly distinctions are made in the concept of good and evil, the concept of distinction and separation, instead of that complete harmony and oneness in the Sabbat of Lao-I'm, and Tao, and then in the harmony of Chi, which is the river of life flowing through the universe, heavenly Chi, earthly Chi, and bodily Chi. So I believe you do find some Taoist concepts and philosophy in there, in the wording and in the language, which could work both ways. Maybe that those philosophies came out of that ancient language, which is also possible, or the philosophies were incorporated into the Bible through these ancient concepts. Both could be possible. Again, we're talking about Genesis 1 and 2 describing a original seamless reality in which there was no Bible, in which there was no words, no language. This is all a compiled concept. Even this doesn't complete the oneness of the universe. This book is a compilation. It is a description of that process of God being fully one with the universe in Genesis 2. Of course, before there was written language, so there was no Bible. This is describing a point in time where there was not even a Bible. There was no story given to us. We were the living word. We were the living story. Man and woman were that story. Were that living word in bodily Chi, in Eden, in the perfection of the ecosystem. Until we see in Tao Te Ching chapter 2, people began to see things as beautiful, and by that other things then started to become ugly. So you can see the fracture in the human mind, whereas the other animals, all other animals don't do this. All other animals, they live in their natural harmony and Chi and ecosystem that they're assigned to, and they keep doing what it is that they do. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. There's the concept of good and evil right there, the introduction of the snake. Being and non-being create one another. Difficult and easy support one another. So we're seeing the distinctions that are made by the human mind, creating the modern human condition, where people are struggling and striving so hard to try to find that original oneness through Lao-I'm and through Tao and Chi, which was actually in the beginning in Eden. This is what everybody's trying to do. They're trying to accomplish that harmony through their own works and through the manifestation of those works in the world and the population, which doesn't work. As Lao-Tzu is describing throughout the Tao Te Ching, people never quite find that harmony. They're always trying to fill a void. Long and short define one another, high and low depend on one another, before and after follow one another. So he's uniting all of these concepts back together. You can see the fracture, mending the fracture of the snake, giving this knowledge of good and evil. Lao-Tzu's attempting, and Lao-Tzu came west symbolically back to Eden, to the land of Eden, to the land of Persia, to the land of the Middle Mesopotamia. So the symbolism is there as well, of Lao-Tzu traveling west back to where our origins were. He's leaving from the advanced cities of China, so that symbol is there as well. So bringing the message of return of the concepts, which supposedly is based in the ancient book and the ancient masters who were living, long ago. So that would be, to me, the watchers of the Bible, or the ancient, the sons of God, actually, the bane of Elohim, the sons of God. And then he says, therefore, the master, the one who calls himself a master of creation, which would be a reference to the sons of God in Genesis chapter 4, acts without doing anything, teaches without saying anything. Things arise and he lets them come. Things disappear and he lets them go. He has but doesn't possess, acts but doesn't expect anything, acts without expectation. And when his work is done, he forgets it. And that is why it goes on forever. So the return to the unification of that oneness. So everything that we're doing as an individual now is return to that Edenic oneness that once was. So you're not, just working for yourself. You're not earning for yourself. You're not just nothing. The removal of just the self at this point, and the letting the universe speak for itself. Allowing the original oneness of Elohim and the Tao and the Sabbath and Chi just speak for itself, which is what I'm trying to do through the description in the Bible. So returning to that point, letting it all speak for itself, and letting it do what it's going to do, would be the general idea of what Taoism is about, and ultimately Genesis chapter 2. And then 3 is the curse of mankind, where mankind lost that oneness in Sabbath, in the eternal Sabbath, the eternal rest.